From the Opopco Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell, and we are brought to you by Papa John's. You can go online anytime to papajohns.com and order your pizza. Get it hot and fast. All right, Barry, let's do 5 and 5. 5 topics, about a minute each for 5 minutes. Let's start with the big talker, not only here, but sort of nationally, the Douglass-Locust Grove game. All right, Barry, what should happen?
What should happen? You know, I've been accused of living in a utopian world, but in a utopian world, both teams, both school districts, both fan bases, everybody would be gracious. And Douglas would not be going so crazy. The politicians wouldn't be jumping on the bandwagon. Everybody would take a deep breath. And on the Locust Grove side, they would say, you know what, we don't want to win this game. Let's play those 65 seconds over. That's what should happen. That's not what will happen.
Yeah, definitely not. No, I think that, you know, people are now feeling like they're being painted as villains, whether you're talking about Locust Grove, whether you're talking about Douglas, whether you're talking about the officials, OSSAA. Everybody's, you know, got sort of a shield around them. What should happen, you know, now that the ship has sailed, frankly, you know, I hate that the teams would have to come back together, but this is not a bad call. That's something that I think people have misunderstood. The call, Douglas, Oklahoma City Public Schools have said, go ahead and make the call. But the misapplication of the rule, it's like saying, holding 50 yards. You know, that's not the rule. They messed up the rule. And so what should happen? I think they should come back together and play those last 64 seconds. There's precedent. The NCAA did it with a volleyball match. I think they could do it with this game. All right, Barry, let's ask a little different question. Douglass-Locust Grove, what will happen?
What will happen is I think the OSSAA board will reject the appeal. And I think they'll say Locust Grove advances. And frankly, if Locust, in my opinion, if Locust Grove is not willingly, you know, is not agreeable to replaying, I don't think it should be replayed. I think it will only lead to more hard feelings. I think more rancor, more anger. I'm ready for this to go away if everybody's not going to be in the right spirit. Doesn't look to me like it's going to be in the right spirit. The OSSAA could say, you know what, it was terrible, it was a tragedy. Take away the striped shirts from those 5 officials, but we got to move on.
Yeah, but you know what? I think what will happen, I think the OSSAA is going to say no to the appeal. The board will, although they have overturned situations in the past, the Guthrie football situation of a couple years ago, the Wright City baseball situation of just, I believe, last spring. So the board has gone against the staff sometimes and done differently. We'll see. But I think they're going to say no. I think they're going to say the game stands. And then I think this thing's going to court. I hate to say that, but I think that's what will happen. I think it's going to delay the playoffs, and we'll just have to see what happens then. All right, Barry, on to happier news. Kevin Durant is back. Okay, so how high of a seed can Oklahoma City get? Because now they're in the playoffs, right?
I think they're in the playoffs, although if they're going to have to play some defense. They did on Tuesday night.
That's true.
I think the highest the Thunder can get is 5th. And you know, if they win the Northwest Division, they're automatically no worse than 5th.
Right.
So I think they can get 5th. I don't see them getting in the top 4. I think it's going to require at least 55 wins to get in the top 4. For the Thunder to reach 55 wins, they're going to have to go 50 and 14. Too high of I think that's too high of a task. They're capable of it, but that's really asking too much. I think more likely is the 6, 7, 8 range is where the Thunder will finish.
Yeah, I think 5 and 6 is about as high, but you know what? That's at least, if you're a Thunder fan or if you're a Thunder player, you got to at least like the idea of not being an 8 seed or a 7 seed and potentially having to face San Antonio in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, because that's probably what you're setting up, because San Antonio is just always the first or second seed in the West, and until further notice, that's how it's going to be. So I think Oklahoma City can definitely get to 6, 5, possibly, and yeah, Barry, I don't think they're going to get home court advantage. I don't think they're going to be in that top 4 at all. All right, Barry, our fun question of the week. Star Wars. Hey, are you excited? The new trailer dropped last week for episode, I think, 7, VII, if my Roman numerals are right. The Force Awakens. Are you excited?
I have to say no. at the risk of being labeled some sort of a specific type of nerd, I was always a Star Trek guy over Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
I never did really see what the big deal was on Star Wars. Saw the first one, didn't see any more until, of course, the first one was like 1977, 76, somewhere in there. Didn't see any more until, I don't know, the 21st century. So, not that excited at all. Star Trek, yes. Star Wars, no.
So if there was a Star Trek trailer, you'd be potentially on board?
I'm actually bigger on the TV series, the original. The original TV series, Star Trek, the movies, not so much.
All right, gotcha. Well, I got to tell you, I'm not a big Star Wars person. I'm sorry. I know I'm sort of in that generation and era where that's a big deal for a lot of people. And I've heard people say the trailer was great, the trailer was awful. I mean, I don't know. But sorry. I mean, I'm not that excited. And maybe I'll go see it. I mean, it's probably a big-time production with all the special effects they got now.
I mean, I'd like to see a sequel of The Graduate or something, but not Star Wars.
All right, lastly, let's get back to serious. What is eating Mike Gundy, Barry? We saw his press conference on Tuesday, sort of a continuation of a changing Mike Gundy, not the same guy that we saw even a couple years ago.
He's obviously not treating the media well, but I don't think he's mad at us. I really don't think he's mad at us. I think he's mad at Mike Holder, and I think he's mad at Boone Pickens. I think he's mad over contracts, and I think he's mad over scheduling. I think he's mad over not getting to be the ultimate boss. I just think he's trying to make a point, and he's using all kinds of people, quarterbacks, media, whoever, to make that point, and I think it's eating at him. And you know what? It's not good. Just you mentioned yesterday you worried about him just on a personal level.
Right.
He just seems to be miserable,
right,
and not doing well. So, you know, I think it's some sort of professional relationship problem with the people he works with. He doesn't like it. He's lashing out. It needs to stop.
Well, and I'm not sure, you know, you saw, if you saw the press conference, any of the video, it's out there. It's on newsok.com. You can check it out in its entirety. You know, if you look at Mike Gundy, eyes bloodshot, just looks tired, looks haggard, looks like something is really, eating him inside. And that's why I talked about yesterday, just feeling, you know, a little bit uneasy and disturbed for him. I thought the way he conducted that press conference was unprofessional. As the highest, most visible employee of Oklahoma State, that's not the face of Oklahoma State that you want if you're Oklahoma State. But at the same time, you know, seems to me like he maybe doesn't have a lot of allies right now. You know, I think he said it yesterday, and he said it several times in talking about coaches. You know, I don't really hang out with a lot of people. And frankly, Barry, I think that may extend to sort of general life. You know, you talk about not being on great terms with Mike Holder, Boone Pickens. You know, who does he have? Who are his allies? Who are his friends right now?
He said he doesn't even really talk to his brother. Yeah,
so, I mean, I'm not sure he's got a great support system around him. And obviously when your biggest booster and your boss are not really in your corner and your team's losing, it can be a tough go. And be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.